Hi, I'm Joe Simon from the Newcastle News, and today I'll be discussing the progress and the effects of Title IX with Luann Grybowski. Grybowski was a 1975 graduate of Newcastle High School. She later coached at Newcastle for 20 years. She coached basketball for the majority of that time. She also did coach fast pitch softball, one of the first fast pitch softball teams at Newcastle. Grybowski had an interesting perspective in that she spoke not only of the athletic from an athletic standpoint, but she also noticed the effects of Title IX from occupation standpoint. You know, during the 70s, the women in the same field as men weren't paid on an equal basis. But as the years have gone by, she is now a teacher and she receives similar wages to her male counterparts. And that was one of the areas that we spoke of. And here is the interview with Grybowski.
I mean, now you have freshmen playing with seniors, which is 14, 15, and 18.
Yeah.
But at that time, and we didn't think about it.
Right.
We just played.
Mm-hmm.
I was outside playing with the boys all the time.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play for the 8th Ward baseball team. And I wasn't allowed.
No, they wouldn't allow it.
No. And then my dad got started at the Polish Falcons, and they sponsored us, and we started with slow pitch. I was 12 years old. My dad, it was my dad, yeah. But well, the Polish Falcons had a lot for us at that time. They had a gymnastics program and track and field, and we used to compete through the Polish Falcons Nest 146, which was from here, and would compete against all the other Polish Falcons, and we'd travel and do things in gymnastics and track and field at that time.
When did you first start playing like organized softball? When you were a sophomore?
When I was 12, it was 12 to 18, and then I just continued. When we were 14, and we would travel to tournaments, almost every weekend. And before that, I mean, we didn't have anything. We just had the Polish Falcons here, which was just the city league. In high school, once I got to high school, there was a gymnastics team that competed school-wise, so that was really my only option. I begged for a basketball team. I went to the athletic director, I think, every day from my sophomore year up.
Yeah.
And they got it the year after I graduated.
Of course.
I never got a chance to play basketball. And I went to Slippery Rock to major in phys ed naturally. Slippery Rock had, a decent program then, but most of the girls that played were from Pittsburgh because they had organized sports usually through high school. My freshman year went to tryouts thinking, since I played just to play around the playground and stuff, that I could play, and I probably could have played. But at that time, basketball tryouts were in the fall, as soon as you went back to school, like in August.
Yeah.
Well, when I was with Stans, the biggest tournament of the year was over the Labor Day weekend, like in September. That was the biggest tournament of the year. That was a world tournament. And our tryouts ran the same time that we were leaving for World, so I had to make a choice, and I had an allegiance to softball. I think that was what I grew up doing, and we were very successful.
Yeah.
So put those two things together, it makes it easy to like. When
did you first start getting into basketball, and when did that become kind of a passion for you?
Actually, I played like intramurals in college. I just loved to compete basically. Because there was so few choices in high school, I just did what I could do. That's why I bowled in college, and I tried whatever. So when I graduated from Slippery Rock and I had an opportunity to get a teaching position at Shenango, Connie Palumbo was the principal at that point. He asked, what would you be willing to coach? And I said, anything. And that's how that happened. I mean, I coached gymnastics out there, volleyball, track, cross country, and basketball. Right out of college, I was 21 years old, and I got the teaching job at Shenango. I was assistant to Glenn Sullinger for gymnastics. I coached cross country and track my first year, and then next year I did basketball, and they asked me to help with volleyball, so I did it. I almost, you could almost say I slept there, because
yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, track I was okay with because I competed in it. Gymnastics I was okay with because I competed in it. Basketball, I became a student of the game. I talked to everybody I could. I went to every coaching clinic I could go to. I would go watch other practices. Billy McNeese was a great help to me out there at that time. He was the coach there.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I started coaching and would go to camps, then you start to bang things off of other coaches, you know. You just start to, all you do is talk basketball, you know. And that's how I learned. I became a student of the game. Being at Shenango, it was almost not male-female out there. I mean, Glenn Sullinger was there for years and was very successful with gymnastics. For the most part, Coach McNeese was great. I mean, we worked so well together, and we would talk about practice time and what's best for you, and we really, you know, worked well together. I can say that I think Title IX really helped us sport-wise. I think it was tough for a lot of districts even to start some varsity sports. And it was a battle. It was more difficult for me to understand in high school because, like, we didn't have equal opportunities for athletics as the guys did. I mean, it got better, and I think we are so much advanced. Like, why did it take so long?
Right.
Why couldn't we have a basketball team? You know?
Did you follow Title IX pretty closely when all that was going on, or wasn't it a real big?
Well, I did, only because it became big during those years. I mean, I was in college from '76 through '80, and those were the years.
Yeah.
So I probably noticed it more in college because they had to add a girls' soccer program and a girls' volleyball. They had to add equal sports because if the guys had 12 varsity sport teams, then the girls had to have 12 varsity sport teams. I probably saw it more in college than, and actually my first year in college was the first year we had a fast pitch softball team. I mean, and that's why I say Title IX helped us out in that way because they added more sports for us.
You can read more about my interviews with Grybowski, Terry Waters, Phyllis Cornan, and everyone else I spoke to about Title IX by checking out our website at ncnewsonline.com or by reading the Newcastle News.